Hey there folks, how are we getting on? So, I thought I'd do a little news video today, as we've got a little bit of information that's come out in the last couple of days about Fallout 4 and also about The Elder Scrolls 6, which is pretty cool. Yeah, obviously, we were expecting a bit to be happening around about now, and yeah, we have updates. So, first up, we'll have a look at the Fallout 4 stuff, and we'll touch on The Elder Scrolls in a moment. So, as you may be aware, Fallout 4's Anniversary Edition has come out. It came out yesterday, it was the 10th of November. And yeah, 10 years since Fallout 4, so that's pretty huge. It feels like it's flown by. A lot of mixed responses out there to this in general, which is interesting. Obviously, the modding community is feeling rather aggrieved, some more than others, and there's definitely some somewhat hyperbolic reactions out there, but what can you do? That's kind of to be expected. So, in general, as is always the case, not just with Fallout 4, but also with Skyrim, and also other games from other developers, when they put updates out, mods got broken. As for how many, how much, and how far, yeah, big pinch of salt with what I'm seeing anyway, so we'll see how that actually pans out. But the good news on that particular front is, very, very quickly, about 24 hours later, the Fallout 4 script extender team have managed to get an update out already. So, yeah, if you are running mods that rely on that, most of your issues, most of them probably, will find themselves fixed by updating script extenders, so you can get on that if you would like to. There are also a whole bunch of other mods that have come along behind and issued updates as well already, so it looks like mod devs are fairly on it. Obviously there'll be a handful out there who've moved on and won't be updating their mods, but that's kind of par for the course. That happens anyway. It's inevitable. Definitely not ideal that stuff gets broken when this happens, but normality is somewhat returning bit by bit, and obviously a few more mods will come along after that. Worst case scenario, I imagine some will have to wait until the early part of next week so that modders and mod devs and stuff can get home from work and have a weekend to work on this stuff, because life goes on and all that. But yeah, fortunately, normality is returning. It does seem to be the case that there are some issues, especially on PC and Steam, with some of the new content, the creation, well, not new content really, is it? But, the stuff including the Anniversary Edition, the Creation Club stuff. Apparently the delivery is not going quite according to plan, which is... This tends to happen when they do big updates. Something goes a little bit sideways. In this case, they've overhauled the menus and the delivery system for this sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's got a few kinks in it that they are actively working on fixing. So hopefully that will be solved reasonably quickly. Apparently, the thing to do is open the menu, give it a little bit of time to run, and then fully restart your game and see how that does. Apparently that's solving a lot of issues. So that's something. But yeah, things should settle down in the next few days, hopefully. I'll be jumping in and actually taking a look at some of this new content in upcoming days. I need a little more time to work on that, but yeah, definitely going to have a look at what's actually available. I do feel this whole 150 plus pieces of content observation that Bethesda have made about the anniversary update is, I'm going to say, a tiny little bit cheeky. There are a couple of creations in there wherein it's multiple skins for various things, your Pip-Boy, armors, and weapons and things like that. They seem to be counting each of those individual colour schemes separately as a separate piece of content. So, if there's 10 Pip-Boy colours, they're not counting it as one, they're counting it as 10, even if they're all inside the same creation. So I think maybe that's a little bit cheeky, inflating the number a tiny little bit there. On the other hand, it is what it is. Notwithstanding the basic update, which makes a couple of changes to menus and things, and also will facilitate future content delivery on down the line, the Anniversary Edition is an optional upgrade. You don't have to buy it if you don't want to. On that note, by the way, as predicted, it is basically structured the same way the Anniversary update for Skyrim was. So if you don't own Fallout 4 on whatever platform at all, you can buy the whole lot. That's the largest price because it's base game, DLC, and the Creation Club stuff. If you already have base Fallout 4, you can buy the Anniversary upgrade from there, which will include 6 DLC plus the Creation Club stuff. That's costing less. And if you have the Game of the Year edition, or all the DLC, Season Pass, and that, etc. already, which I imagine is where most people will fall if they're watching this video, then you can just buy the Anniversary add-on, which is just the Creation Club stuff, and obviously that is the cheapest option in there if you want to do that. Regional pricing obviously being a thing, so I'm not going to dive into numbers because it does vary and varies over time as well. So yeah, have a little poke around because there are options there if you're interested, and if you're not, don't do it. That's entirely up to you. So yeah, they have also talked about that they are working on some new creations. So this being the mini DLC side of things. Some people are calling it paid mods, but those are calling it creations. I think mini DLC kind of describes it more accurately because they're being made in conjunction with Bethesda by third parties through the modding system that they're implementing in the game, and they are paid, but they're not, standard mods. They're, bigger and made in conjunction with Bethesda, so it's a slightly different thing. So I look at it as being mini DLC myself, but they are working on a whole bunch more new quests and things like that. They've talked about a bounty hunting themed nod to New Vegas type mod or creation, whatever, that will be coming on down the line in coming weeks and months. They haven't given a date for it. They may have one internally, but they haven't shared it. So that's one thing they've mentioned, and obviously there'll be more stuff coming down. If you're wanting more content to add into your Fallout 4 experience on down the line, if you're still enjoying the game, still playing it, but want new stuff, there is stuff coming. So, yeah, that is a thing that's happening if you're interested in it. So, moving on, Elder Scrolls 6 got a little bit of extra information this weekend as well. Todd Howard gave an interview to GQ magazine, so you can kind of... I'll try and remember to link that down below, but failing that, then a quick Google will find it, no doubt. It's not a particularly in-depth interview, it's just a general chatter about Todd Howard's feelings on the games that they make. It's pretty vague. The interesting stuff about Elder Scrolls 6 is a couple of points, though. Firstly, he wants to reiterate that patience is the way to go, and it will not be coming soon. It might be quite a while. Obviously, vague. Wouldn't expect anything less than vagary, really, but that is... It's good to have some information, or a little reminder that it is their day-to-day. It is the primary thing BGS are working on at the moment. So as a general reminder, they've got a team working on Fallout 76, they've got a team adding on to Starfield, they've got a team working on this... Come on, top down. Thank you. They've got a team working on this stuff for Fallout 4, they've got a team working on their mobile games and stuff. And yeah, all that's going on at the moment. But the core thing that particularly the Maryland studio, but also a little beyond that, are working on is Elder Scrolls 6. My theory, and it really is just my theory, was that 2027 was most likely to be the targeted release window. Most of the games in the last 20 years or so have come out either 3 or 4 years, and as time has gone on, the gaps are getting longer, not shorter, because, not really surprisingly, they're trying to build up on things and they're getting bigger and bigger each time, so that's going to happen. But yeah, 4 years is probably the most likely scenario minimum before it comes out, and 2027 will be 4 years on from Starfield. So that was what I was working on. However, the hint might also be that it might even be longer than that. So I wouldn't expect to see anything before the back end of 2 years from now, possibly even longer than that. Todd Howard did hint that he would like to shadow drop it. He didn't come right out and say that, but he strongly hinted that the successful shadow drop of Oblivion Remastered earlier this year might be something that would be considered a test run. Of course, that might also be a test run for Fallout 3's remaster, which we also have had whispers. There's another rumour come out that some people working at a particular publication, I forget which one exactly now. It's one of those ones that's just a bunch of letters and not actually a word. But apparently they have had confirmation that a Fallout 3 remaster is underway. We kind of knew that already. In all likelihood, it'll be a third-party studio doing it, probably Virtuous again, who did Oblivion, and they will likely be doing the same thing again, using Unreal 5 to bump Fallout 3 up to a more modern standard. Like they did with Oblivion, it'll probably be the same base game underneath it, and then lifted with a few extra tweaks and adjustments, as well as a massive graphical overhaul. So yeah, with Oblivion, it seems to be true that took 3 or 4 years, maybe? 3 years, maybe, to do? Maybe a bit less time than that. But rumours started emerging around about 2021, I think, and it came out in 25. I would imagine it will take them less time to do Fallout 3, because they've already taken a run at it once. So 2 to 3 years I would expect before that. But we could get a shadow drop on it if Todd Howard's hints about dry runs with Oblivion are anything to go by. So that was a cool little bit of a nod. As to whether or not a shadow drop will happen with Elder Scrolls 6 when the time comes, I would personally bet against it. So my thinking on this is that I'm sure Todd Howard would like to do it. When you look at previous Bethesda releases, and by previous I mean prior to the acquisition by Xbox, the tendency was about a 5-month period between announcement and release. So it would be a holiday season release, November usually, of a game that was announced at the E3 as it was back then in the summer. So yeah, 5 months-ish. That was the way they liked doing it. I'm sure Todd Howard would love to do a shadow drop for it, and then they can just kind of get it done quickly. Because that run-up period is a whole thing for them, and it's intense. And shadow dropping means they don't have to worry too much about changing the actual release date, and it reduces the impact if they do have to do so. So there's a lot of advantages to them to doing that. On the other hand, I don't foresee Xbox going for that. They went for it for a remaster, but for an entirely new entry into the Elder Scrolls series, seems unlikely. I think we're more likely to get the 5-month-esque window than an actual shadow drop on that one. Just my hunch, but we'll see. Be interesting to see what happens between now and then. Oh yes, by the way, they have been doing some playtests internally. They've had, obviously, their staff playtesting Elder Scrolls 6, but they also had some folks via Make-A-Wish come in and do a little bit of a 3-hour playtest, apparently, on Elder Scrolls 6. Exactly how much space that means they got to move around in, I don't know. It won't be the whole map. I think that's very unlikely, but maybe a small part of it they will have had access to, so that's quite cool. I suspect those people are not allowed to talk about their experience. These things usually come with conditions, but still. It's good to know that that is happening as well, and people have gotten hands-on with it. Obviously, when it comes to talking about playtests and how much is playable and things like that, what that means to one company is not the same as another company. What it means to Bethesda is not going to be the same as what it means to us lot out here. So, big pinch of salt. Don't read too much into it, but obviously it's working. They're working on it and things are rolling on. So, that's very, very cool. But yeah, good to hear a little bit of news and things are happening. Upcoming content on Fallout 4. Definitely going to have a look at those creations and see what's in there and take a little bit more of a deep dive into that in coming days, just as soon as I have the opportunity. And we'll see whether or not I do another run-through and we actually play it on stream or not. I've currently got 2 games on the go at the moment, and obviously Burning Springs for 76 is not far away either, so I'm looking forward to jumping into that. But we'll see. I might consider something. Maybe I'll do something on the weekend or something. I would kind of like to, and the more I think about it, the more another playthrough of Fallout 4 becomes appealing, you know? So we'll have to see. In the meantime, thank you all for watching. I do hope you found this useful and informative and interesting, and a little bit of a diversion over a cup of tea or something. If you like the video, likes and subs are always appreciated. Social media links in the description for useful notifications. If you'd like to gamble with your notifications, then YouTube's notification bell is available. Down below the video, I've got channel memberships if you want to support the channel directly. I very, very much appreciate that. And as I say, if you get the chance to join us for live streams, we are currently playing The Outer Worlds 2 and The Last Caretaker. And as I say, Fallout 76 will be coming back in very soon, and maybe even some Fallout 4 as well. So lots to keep an eye out for if you want to jump into that. Mostly weekday evenings, but we may deviate a little bit. Keep an eye out. Again, notifications are your friend. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.